Good morning. If you're watching this video, you're probably on my YouTube channel, Satoshi-Like. And if you're rewatching it on BitTube, you're probably on Mind Your Biz. Feels good to say that. My name is Satoshi-Like, and if you're following this, you're probably into mining. I'm all swagged up. Let me take all this stuff off. Again, rules of hospitality. You're in my home, so I'm going to take my hat off when I'm around you. I'm in my home, so I'm going to take my hat off when I'm around ladies. You know what? I don't know what the rules are. I just don't want to have a hat on. Frankly, I don't normally wear hats. I wear them kind of as a utility. Hey, Reynaldo, AZ, Bludget, good to see ya. Bludget, I noticed a comment of yours, actually. Let me do a quick call out to Bludget, a community member, member of the mining community, who said, you know what, I'm really having a problem. I'm having a problem. It would be good to see you as well. I'm having a problem with figuring out how to calculate a grow tent and how to figure out the airflow problem. Because as you know, with mining, we want to deal in airside economy. We don't want to do liquid cooling if we can avoid it. We're putting water blocks on every single GPU, submerging every single ASIC, if you're into ASIC mining, into some kind of engineering fluid like Novec. Kind of not very feasible. I mean, really cool. It's a really cool process if you can do it. But it's really expensive, and it costs a lot of time as well. We need to deal in air. Right? Just moving a lot of air and keeping air the right temperature. So you're down in my basement. With me, I'm in my basement, so by extension, you're following me. You get what I'm saying. Over here's a corner, got the water heater way over there and the furnace. Let me flip this around. We're gonna walk over to the other side of the basement so you can kind of see. It's a split basement. So on one side, I'll flip the camera here, you can see what I'm seeing. Got a root cellar for food storage and such. Got all kinds of hanging shelves, which might not be a bad candidate to put miners up here. That way we know there's always cool air feeding them and we can duct air out of a window. We can do the same over here if we felt like it. Move these hanging shelves over. Just to give you a sense of scale, I mean, I can already see that's one full size 10 paint can. And yeah, gallon container of that seal over there, sealer. So we could move that closer and we could ventilate directly out of that window if we chose to. That would help us figure that out, all right? It'd be very easy because we'd have an intake on this side and we could exhaust from there. Or now that we're getting into winter months, guys, we could go just the opposite direction. I could pull cold air in from that window and I could ventilate down into this side of the basement, right? So we can have this as sort of a buffer, and then whatever goes through up the stairs into the home will heat the home, or whatever radiates through the floor, right? This is old original floor, 1940s vintage, actually doing quite well for its age. The subflooring has been somewhat replaced. You'll notice that there's going to be the occasional, I'll show you over here, the occasional shim right there to help level things out. Michael, oh, it's good to see you. Hey guys, quick call out to the pigeon community. Michael, always great to see you in the comments. And my best to the pigeon community. Project that is fighting the dip and fighting the downturn and trying to still provide value. I love their mission statement. So yeah, guys, you see the floor is in good shape, but if we had heat coming through the window over there and then feeding a shelf or even an extended shelf, right? We've got plenty of shelving already built in, and pretty much we're using it kind of for junk. At this point, it's like typical basement garage stuff, right? We've piled up old papers. We've got various things. Pay no attention to the adult diapers. We're using it for all kinds of stuff. By the way, I feel like I should probably explain that. I've got a sister with Down syndrome, and so during overnights, this is a reality. If you have a family member that has special needs, this is part of your life. Roderick, good to see you in the comments. Yankee, I appreciate you egging me on to just do it. Well, let me show you what I've got going on right now. This is my preferred spot to operate in. Now, first off, I've got a thin mattress right here covering this entrance into this little nook. Now, what's this? Let me just flip the camera around and get a slightly better camera on the other side so I can show you. Now, I don't have a work lamp set up. I apologize. Roger, they're called the pens, not diapers. So right here, that baffling is set just over a couple of familiar airframes. See that? Those are the H110 boards. So I've got enough slots there for 26 GPUs. Just chilling there. Hanging out, right? Hanging out like Hamlet's father. Ready to, I don't know, be stabbed or something. And then right next to it, I've got Big Baby. And now Big Baby is currently in a 4-card configuration with dual GPUs because the 1600 watt PSU will drive those 4 GPUs. They're rather power hungry, actually. And guys, thank you so much for hitting that like button. I appreciate whoever's doing that right now. Hitting the like button, being subscribed. Thanks for jumping in when we went live. But right here, this little nook, again, we're really kind of struggling with light. I should have set up a work lamp. I'll have one soon. Soon, TM. But I've got, as it was previously used for storage, I've got some shelving right here. I can use it as scaffolding to span across at a 45-degree angle, or maybe even just all the way from edge to edge. So I can build something up here as needs be without having to create a proper rack. I don't think I need that. However, right now, for my intake, I'm just going to use this as the forced induction for this area right here, and then either up towards the top or over by the window, I'll be putting in a high CFM fan and ducting. So the big question is, and this is what Bludget asked before, how do I calculate? How do I figure out what my needs are? It kind of depends. It kind of depends on how many devices you have, the TDP, and then at the end of the day, realistically, how much space they need, and then how much cubic space needs to be pulled from that space, or how much cubic air needs to be pulled from that space. So let's pull out a measuring tape. I know, typical miner talk, right? Let's get to measuring. My rig is bigger than your rig. Alrighty, first off, who do I see in the comments? Joseph. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry, I said it wrong. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Alrighty, and this is always how it works. Measuring tape is never available when you want it, when you need it. It's been pulled from my toolbox. Alrighty. In a last-ditch effort, he checked over by his Dremel tools. Ooh. And my torch kit. I haven't had a need to use my torch kit in a while. Let's come up with a reason for me, a project, a crypto-oriented project that will require the use of a torch kit. Because I want to light something on fire and or melt it. Really, guys, give me a reason. Give me a reason. Okay. So what I'm going to do, without having to actually grab that measuring tape, let's just talk about this, right? Torch and ASIC. I dig blocks, Pete. Sweet. So absolutely measure it twice, cut once. Here's the thing, when it comes to calculating airflow for a mining operation, you kind of only need to measure once, and then you probably need to buy 2 fans. Let me explain. It's not as simple as just calculating the airflow for the room. Hey, I've got Crypto Marcius. Thank you so much for saying hello. Let me flip this around. Again, I've got some scaffolding I can hang stuff from, especially from right here towards the top. I don't know that I'm really going to leverage that all that much. I think realistically, what I'm going to do is build up from the ground. And I can, because of the open airframe design, I can leave them on cardboard boxes, whatever I have lying around. I can put a pallet underneath it, because this is not super heavyweight stuff. And this is, in particular, I can put it on top of a pallet. I can put some kind of a gap between it, or I can set it on its side, and I can put multiples on a pallet. So I'm not necessarily stacking them up on top of each other. They can be stacked. They're easy. That's why these kinds of enclosures are so easy, because I can, like, sure, I can put 12 or 13 in each one of these airframes, but then I can't stack anything up on top of them. So I've got 26 GPUs potentially over there, but I'm going to have to be using risers, USB risers, that then go all the way over to this scaffolding and hang off of there. Jim C, how are you? Thanks for saying hello. But right here, sure, it's only 8 GPUs, but I can stack 8 up top upon 8 upon 8 upon 8 upon 8. Or I can flip it sideways, and in this opening right here, I can fit 3 or 4 side by side, and what is that, 24 right there, and then I can continue to stack them sideways and have an additional 24 that way. So a little bit different mentality than right over here, and it keeps me from having to install a server rack, and it keeps me from having to install any kind of shelving. It's just really simple to put into a space like this. And that said, the opening is standard. I could probably put in a server rack right here. Gosh, I don't know how many inches tall that is, but whatever. I could probably put a server rack right here at the front, put it on, something on wheel, on casters, so that I know I can seat it just right. But frankly, that's overkill for mining, guys. The CapEx. Like, why would you build something to put your miners inside of if you already have something that will work? Now, if you don't have something that will work, well, obviously you've answered that question. Wes is like, it's like that spot was made for you, buddy, bruh, right? Oh my gosh! And check this out. Here's the power run right here. Gosh, what gauge is this? I always forget the gauge. Here in the States, it's white, yellow, orange, right? That's how you know. That's how you know what you can handle. You don't want to put your 30 amp circuits on white. That's I just don't think about what the gauge actually is. But I know that I need to run a couple more. Abdul, thanks for saying hello. And right here, I'm going to put ducting over the top, or I'm just going to put a giant plenum right here. And I'm kind of more a fan of putting a giant plenum than I am putting tubing or ducting, personally. I like the idea of leaving big space for big air to flow through, especially because most of the fans themselves, if you get fans that are not ducting fans, they're square. Rather, the hardware for it is square, and it's meant to fit a square receptacle. So you buy a funnel for it, the opening is square. The opposite side is square because they're designed to work, to receive a plenum and to be stepped down to another plenum, right? So, hey, Yankee, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I need that refresher, guys. Again, I try not to over-assert my knowledge in a given area. So orange is the 10 gauge. So I know I need some 10 gauge wire, and I know I've got a few. Oh wow, talk about airing your dirty laundry. It's all clean. It's all clean laundry. So this is kind of cool here in this panel. And I think I've showed this before. I got really excited about this. So we've got the dual 15s right here that I think are already being used by our appliances. Same with dual 15s here being used by appliances. But these bad boys, I've checked, dual 40 and dual 30. These ganged breakers right here, not run. So I'm thinking that I'm going to tap those for my PDUs, and I'm just going to run those, just right along there, and drop them. Just drop them right in. So I'll have my PDUs right there, and that's what I can run pretty much everything off of. And then, operating the mine is as simple as like chunk, done. Is it on or is it off? The mine is running or the mine is not running. And we hit one giant button for that. So I kind of prefer this corner for that reason. Here is the difficulty that I have, guys. So Big Baby is home. I don't have power adequately run just yet. I made an effort to tap the same line, and I think it's because I'm on an extension where I've already got a refrigerator. But I tapped the extension that is already feeding some appliances. Now this is, I believe, our 30 amp line right there. But I think I'm not getting consistent power to feed this 1600 2200 watt switching PSU inside of Big Baby. So I've got a bit of an issue there. That said, we've got router back there connected directly to the modem, going directly to, whoop, what's this? the fiber box. Oh yeah. And we are confirmed on the hard line doing no less than 900 megabits per second. So I'm really excited about that. However, it's overkill for mining, right? Our ping is low, so we got really good. Hey, Joseph is saying he's using 32 amp circuits for his miners on 240 volts. Plenty of power. Yeah, AZ, bruh, I'm jelly. Just add work, right? Got to actually build out. So now, you know, all that free time, just build it out. So, yeah, I'm excited about this. So I'll be ordering some PDUs through my source where I get Big Baby. Abdul, holy cow. Rich, Seth. No, I am not. Am not rich. Sorry, bud. No, am not rich. Sorry. Secret's out. Not rich. Just happen to live in the Google Fiber market. They subsidize it in those markets, right? That's the reality. If Google didn't subsidize the cost of this stuff, we would still not be able to afford gigabit speeds, right? They subsidize it because they give us so much other stuff in exchange for all of our personal info. Okay. Having a moment there. You know, I think most of us 10 years ago, 15 years ago, were thinking, not quite 15 years ago, but 10 years ago, we're thinking like, oh man, all these Google services, they're just so great. And now we're like, what have we done? Hey, Michael, I'm reading some comments in the comment section about hacks. And speaking of hacks and hijacks, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Right here, guys, this is the business. This is where it's all going. And right now, I've got plenty of room to figure this out. To answer Bludgett's question, the initial thread that started this video, this is why I went live today, guys. Figuring out airflow for this space. Grab yourself a measuring tape and calculate volume across, over, and up. Those three measurements, that gives you your cubic feet, right? Gives you your cubic feet. So with those cubic feet, that measurement, here we go, all the artwork behind me. Maybe you can't see it on the walls. So with that measurement, we're in a good position to figure out what the CFM rating is of the fans that we need to evacuate that. And again, based on the design that I have, I'm keeping most of my miners low, but I will pallet raise them because I'm down in a basement. We've got unfinished floors. It's a partially finished basement, right? I've got a bedroom behind me, but it's particle board, right? There's not even sheetrock up yet. So, Bludget, you seemed to ask before about what do I need to get. So with the grow tents will probably tell you a little better. They've been designed specifically to have that air evacuated. Ooh, a basement in Canada? Oh man, you're gonna be killing it. So I'm not as far north as you are. You're gonna get way better temps if you're able to pull from a window. And again, that corner, I'm going to be running a plenum out to the window. But I think what I may need to do is I may need to sort of dual plumb that plenum. And here's what I mean. I may need to create a door. I'll flip this around. So we're going to have the plenum go from here all the way over. Yeah, it's going to be a little messy, but yeah, pulling from a window, definitely not so good in Phoenix. There's like no good time of year to exist in Phoenix. Sorry, man. But plenum all the way over here, and I think we'll be able to evacuate from that when we get back to summer. But because we've gotten back into cold weather, I think what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take that plenum and plumb it down right here on the wall and create an alternate route that is for the induction into that space. So it'll cover the intake fans on the miners, and then hot air will simply come back out, and then it'll heat the home. Only a few miners are necessary to do that. You guys know, right? So, and I've got a great question from Loot Patient also, sort of related to structuring a business surrounding crypto and mining. Again, guys, not business advice, not legal advice, not financial advice, but here are my thoughts on it. I'll get to that in a moment. Loot Patient, thank you. It's a really great question, and it's very important for people who are serious about this and who want to, you know, do things right by Uncle Sam or wherever, you know, whatever jurisdiction they live in. But first, let me show you the problem that I've got right now. It doesn't take too many miners to heat a home, right? You've got, you figure the TDP of even just Big Baby and then that used Antminer D3 that I've got, that's probably enough to heat this lower section of the home over about a day. Depending on the ambient temperatures that we're getting outside, it's enough. If we get particularly cool ambient temperatures outside, then of course the TDP will negate those cool temperatures. And we'll get back to about a pleasant, and I'm sorry, the conversion in my mind of what ambient is not so great, guys, but a pleasant 70 some odd degrees Fahrenheit. So figuring out exactly how many I can support here, I could bring all of my cards over here, but I think that I need to keep the research lab siloed from this experiment here. I think this is pretty much, I'm pretty much writing this off as a whole house heater. That's it. That's it. And I'm only going to be bringing as many cards home as I can justify in terms of TDP versus the cubic feet per minute net required to heat the whole home. That said, George did, am I making money mining? Yeah. Yeah. Aren't you? If you're not, we need to talk. So, cold air in, warm air out, baffles to help reduce some of the noise, but it's not fully gotten rid of. Not fully gotten rid of, right? So we've got a noise issue here. Sure, you can hear we've got washer dryer going, but that's only temporary. That's only, you know, at most one time per day with a family our size, right? So we're not running, well, we don't have little kids either where you would run. It's crazy. When your kids are little, you can do like 2-3 times a day with the washer or dryer, or both. Fun Dad, good to see you in the comments. But here's the issue, guys. As it's a partially finished basement, flip this around, there are the stairs. See my problem? We're unfinished on the stairs. There's no baffling to break up noise wave or audio waves. We've only got particle boards so far. And this is the state that we moved into, okay? So same here, particle board to partially finish this wall. And that was enough when we thought that there was only noise coming from here. So what do we do now that there's going to be noise coming from a mine? How do we prevent that from ruining quality of life at home? Kind of a trick, right? Because we don't have a door, we don't have otherwise finished materials here. Plus, this room is where my teenager sleeps, who gets up at the crack of monkey to make it over to high school. He's very, very responsible about taking care of his own stuff. I'm very, very proud of him and handling his business. So how do we make sure that this works? Yeah, we've got a lot of area to cover here, right? To finish the basement enough in terms of soundproofing to make sure that we're good. So I think AZ had a comment there about staple up some insulation bats. Yeah, that would work for these, right? Stapling to this particle board, kind of a no-go. It's pretty thin stuff. So going all the way through it with those staples, not a good look on the on this side, right? On the panel side, because it's the faux wood grain paneling, right? So the staples will go all the way through there. We've got to figure it out. Maybe we can do some liquid nails or some kind of tack, right? Some sort of like squeeze on like liquid tack, right? So that might be the way to go. And Wes is saying he's dealing with the same problem, and that what he did was fill the walls and ceiling with insulation, then put insulation board over it. So you're talking about the closed cell insulation foam, right? That stuff. What thickness did you use, Wes? Let me know in the comments. Because right here, I think what we'd have to do in order to properly soundproof this, you saw my kludge. I already had some of that right there. And then I have another mattress right here. They're just very thin, that thankfully, at least for right now, I'm hanging from a water pipe, but it's not particularly heavy. It's pretty lightweight, so I'm just hanging it from right there for now. I'm clipping it on, and then it covers the entrance, but it's still not enough. That the high frequency pitch from these really high CFM fans on miners, it's intense. That stuff is really hard to cut by way of audio. High frequency noise is always the hardest. And Bludgeon is saying he used heat resistance drywall to dampen the noise. That's a great idea. There is there's an entire classification of drywall that is meant to cut multiple decibels. It's actually rated for multiple decibels cutting. Newbie says he uses what they call regular insulation over there. Glava used to be a fiber cloth with glass fibers. Unsure what it's made of now. Okay, good ideas. Very good ideas. George is saying use spray foam. I would say yeah for here, yeah, to do the insulation across like behind this panel board. That makes a lot of sense. So thank you for the call out. Really appreciate that. I thought you were talking about with the miners at first, and I was like, wait a second, I'm going to spray insulation into my miners? That might not end well. But I'm picking up what you're throwing down. I'm just a little groggy. Stayed up quite late, as I am wont to do. So Bludgeon, back to your question. As far as the formula, it's just that simple. So I mean, I say simple, right? But calculating volume is width times length times height, right? And then measure in feet, because most of the fans are measured in cubic feet per minute, which is kind of a kick to the groin to the international community that's using SI, right? Sistema International. So weird. I sincerely wish, it's not even so much that I'm like this huge fan of metric, but I kind of wish we could all get on the same page at some point, maybe in my lifetime, so we're not always doing conversions between imperial and metric. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, whatever. International community, let's get on this, okay? I know that in a lot of cases, most scientists, they attempt to work with metric when they can here in the States, except for when they don't, like NASA, and then they have these weird miscalculations because one half of a spaceship was designed using imperial standards and the other half was designed using metric. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I get really fired up. So, and the same is true. This house, cars, whatever else. I wish we could just figure it out. So, you can do cubic centimeter displacement or cubic meter displacement if you want to, but most of the fans that you're likely to buy are going to be measured in cubic feet per minute, including the fans that you see on any kind of an ASIC or like Delta fans, whatever else. They're always rated in CFM for some reason. George is talking about the miner that he's using. George, if you want to talk about miners, go ahead and jump into the mineyour.biz Discord. We've got great recommendations there for different mining software. So, Sergeant, you're saying you were using noise-canceling directional speakers. Record, yeah, so an inverse wave. So, yeah, inverse waves are okay. That's okay. You need to have particularly low latency audio processing gear. So, that's one way of doing it. So, you could do that, or I could do that. It's not entirely... I mean, I'm going to have a barrier between the miners and the rest of the home, so I guess I could build that system directly into a wall. Be kind of like a smart wall that's really just like you're saying, some audio signal processing gear, a speaker, and then a mic on the other side. The idea has merit. I don't see why not. But I may just want to record a specific segment of the wave, right? So I may want to just go for the high frequency stuff that's really, really painful, really annoying to listen to. Maybe with the high frequency stuff, maybe that's what I do, is I create an inverse wave from right here by adding a speaker, or creating a speaker somewhere here under the stairs, and then allowing that to emit forward. I'm kind of more inclined to do a little bit of insulation to start, only because, generally speaking, low tech winds up being a little more enduring. I don't know what else I'm going to put in that corner later on. I might just put server gear there later on, right, for the home. So a whole house server gear where I've got, I'll have like network attached storage. I'll have a media server, right, for Plex or whatever else to serve to the TV upstairs or the TV over here as well. That might be where that closet winds up going. like after we go warehouse with mining gear anyway, because we'll get better rates on power at the warehouse anyway. So this may just be a short-term deal. Yankee is saying, hit the frequency that makes you go poop. Here's the thing. The first thing you need to do is you need to hold your fingers together. And then yeah, there's actually a secret pressure point you have to hit at the same time while making that high frequency. Like, ah! And then your opponent goes poop in their pants. Ask me how I know. I got that info from Imperdin. He has secret ninja moves that only the government has. So, all right. So, hey, George, the Discord link is in the description. It would be bit.ly/myb-discord. So that's right there in the description. So we would love to have you there. We're having great conversations about all other aspects of mining. So let me jump back into a question that is related to the build out here. Hey, Rackley's saying that they're in leader, and that makes sense. That makes so much more sense in terms of the fluid displacement, or the fluid displacement of air. So having it listed in cubic liters per minute makes a lot of sense, and I'm really glad to hear that. Here, cubic feet per minute. So I think Bludgeon, I could be mistaken, but I believe you're working with Imperial as well. So cubic feet per minute, just do the measurement, right? Height times, or width times length times height, and then you've got your measurement. You're good. You're good. So building a plenum here, the plenum will not house power, will not house signal. I don't want to have to deal with additional cable ratings. I just want to get something that's certified for residential use and get my materials at the lowest bare cost possible. Guys, this is mining. It is mining. Don't overbuy your infrastructure. It bears repeating because it's easy to do, because you kind of need, if you're going to have this stuff close to where people dwell, you kind of need to deal with these practical problems, but it's also very easy to overbuy. So I'm going to get materials at bare cost wherever possible. Now, even that 10 gauge wire, so thank you again, Yankee, for calling that out. That 10 gauge wire, I don't know that I'll be rated for 50 amp. And I think that I want to have a 50 amp PDU. So I may have to just run something else entirely. The thicker gauge 50 amp wire directly from the box there, directly to my PDU, and then run from the PDU over to my miners. So we'll see how that shapes up, but that's kind of the plan, guys. Whoa, so many questions. Hey, sweet. George works in construction. He's saying I would spray foam in the ceiling as well. Noise must be very loud when you go to sleep as you're near the floor. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the noise is very loud. Being that it's back in a cement box, we're not getting vibrational noise, so the low frequency is pretty effectively cut. It's the high frequency that's traveling, and that's the biggest thing. So yeah, with that sound, the noise reduction, I really think the high frequency is what's at the highs and the mids are what's going to be a serious problem. Uh-oh. Oh, seriously? Did I not put a link in the description, guys? It should be. Okay, so there should be 3 or 4 links in the description, and one of them should be the Mind Your Biz Discord link. If it's not there, I'm truly sorry. All right, let me fix that, guys. So there are some defaults for when I go live. But at any rate, let me jump back. Loot Patient had a brilliant question that I want to get back to before I get back over to the office, guys, because I've got to go get tonight's show ready for our cryptocurrency. Moderators, Faded, are you there? Good call. Yeah, newbie. Here's the thing. This based on the geography where we are, it's quite arid here. Actually, it's a bit like Arizona. It's just colder. It's a little bit more humid here. Not a ton of humidity here, so it'll be extra dry. Is the problem with miners here? Oh, good grief. All right, trying to find that comment really fast. Loot Patient was asking about... Okay, Loot Patient was asking about structuring an LLC for your mining operation if it makes sense to have the name mining in the name. Guys, let me go on record as saying you do not want to do that. Ever. You don't want to put mining in the name of your LLC. Again, I don't want this to come across as financial, legal, or business advice. But if you were retaining me as a consultant, I'd give you a deeper dive as to exactly why. But I will go on record as saying, if I were you, I would never put the name mining in my LLC, in my corporate filing documents. I wouldn't put mining into those corporate filing documents. And at least one reason I can talk about publicly is that, I mean, at that point, you're now disclosing to Uncle Sam or whoever else is watching that the intent and purpose of your business is to do crypto mining. So, yeah. Oh, well. Hey, I've got N Mining in the comments saying a little late to tell me. Well, hey, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah. So, guys, that's my answer to the question, though. Loot Patient asked. I'm going to answer, guys, you know I'm going to answer as honestly as I possibly can at any time, with as much transparency as I possibly can if I'm not under NDA or if I have not been asked to keep somebody else's secrets. Then I'm just going to tell you straight up. If you were to ask me, like, hey, what should I call my LLC? What should I call my brand new C Corp? Not mining. Not mining. Call it whatever else. And Loot Patient, I would literally call it Loot. I'd call it Loot Inc. or whatever. Loot LLC. Find the Loot LLC or whatever. Steal the booty. Don't steal it. Get it by legal means. But yeah, I would call it something a little more creative, personally. Dad, thank you so much for adding that. Alrighty, guys, that's what I got for you today. That's the beginning. Yeah, yes, sir, not crypto mining. Not crypto mining. Wink, wink. LLC. Not crypto mining. Soon. TM. LLC. Looty's good. Yeah, guys, give Loot Patient some recommendations here. But yeah, guys, I got plenty of options for routing the heat. Then I might also, if I can do an exit, put it over here close to the other heavy stuff. It's already generating heat. I might just run it over this way. Maybe I can literally, maybe I should port the heat over to the water heater, and I can enclose. The thing is, you're not really allowed to enclose it per se. Maybe I can put a little tent close to the water heater, and without violating code, try to siphon off some warm air from the mining closet, and keep the water heater, the tank, keep it a little more warm externally. I'm spending less on gas to heat the water, reheat the water. All right, yeah, To the Moon LLC, guys, these are great. What is this? Love Your Face Inc. Oh yeah, Mine Your Looty LLC. These are great, guys. Keep them coming, guys. Thank you so much for being members of, for being contributing members to the community. When I talk about the community, do I mean does Mine Your Biz own a community? No. Is Mine Your Biz a community on Discord? It's a server on Discord where community members hang out. I think that we've got one of the best places anywhere to hang out. I think we've got a really healthy culture, and I'm really proud of what the community's done there, of what folks like you are doing. So thank you so much. I'm proud to be associated with you. Guys, you're the reason I make these videos. I will see you tonight in the Friday stand-up meeting with Seth Estrada over on our cryptocurrency. Look for the post. I'll probably go live again just to remind you that it's over there and not on this channel. I love your face so much I even sang it to you. See you in the next one.